Don't be boring. You can choose to be almost anything that you want to be, as long as the thing you choose isn't boring. It stands to reason, who of us wants to spend time around boring, flat, dull, lifeless two-dimensional people? Even worse, who would want to date or spend your entire life with someone who's uninteresting? If being boring is such a massive turnoff, then it should be interesting for us in the goal of raising our sexual market value and just being better and more interesting people to find out how we can avoid being boring. So what can we do? Well, to be boring is to miss the characteristics that make a person interesting. You could say boring is kind of a negative state, like darkness or emptiness. What makes a person interesting depends on whether the observer is R or K selected. So for example, some things which might be interesting to a R selected person might make a K selected person feel very uncomfortable or even could be repulsive to them. And so for the purposes of this discussion, we're just going to focus on what makes K selected people interesting to other K selected people. Try this experiment. Imagine your perfect dinner party, and you can only invite 5 guests. Who are these people? Who would you invite? What about them makes them interesting to you? It's true that interesting people do interesting things. They build things, they create things, they join and cooperate with other interesting people, they form organizations, they form structures in society. They face danger and chaos, and they make it possible for us to have the good quality and comfortable life that we have today. Interesting people bring life into the world. And I don't just mean that they have children, that's a big part of it, but they make the world a more lively and interesting place in which we can live. Interesting people think about the big ideas, and they promote those ideas, making society hopefully a much better place because of their presence. To be more interesting to other people, you have to do more interesting things. But not just any random thing that catches your attention. You need to do things that are really important. Things which really make a difference and have value. We need to do things that burn away our old and obsolete personality traits and bring out a new and better personality. We need to become the phoenix, the man or woman capable of burning away our old personality traits like so much dead wood and replacing them with a new, superior person. Simply doing more interesting things will make us a more interesting person, but it's a rather shallow and difficult to maintain method of becoming interesting. To become truly and deeply interesting, to become a multifaceted person, we need to do more. Truly interesting people do interesting things not because they're trying to impress other people, but because they are compelled to do so by their purpose in life. They have something deeper, something noble, which causes them to seek out and do interesting things. They do them because it's part of their mission in life. Therefore, we can safely say that boring people are boring because they don't have a purpose in life that drives them to constantly do interesting things and grow as a person. If you want to be interesting and have an interesting life and meet interesting people and one day marry an interesting person, you have to figure out your purpose in life, the thing which motivates you. Yeah, this is deep stuff, all right. Improving your sexual market value isn't some sort of a 3 easy steps and it can be done by the weekend type thing. This is real change that makes you a better and different person. Additionally, the man or woman that is constantly improving themselves, that is constantly growing through pursuit of their life purpose, is always going to be interesting to be around. They will be a different person from one year to the next. And this means their relationships will never grow boring or dull. And if you're married to such a person, and especially if you also are such a person, neither of you will become bored with the other because there will always be something new to learn as you grow and mature. To simplify things, we can say that men are not going to be attracted to masculine characteristics in women, and women are not going to be attracted to feminine characteristics in men. That's simply not the way that healthy sexuality works. So if it's not that working that way, how does it work? Now, we already know that interesting men are very attractive to women. Now, this stands to reason. What kind of a woman wouldn't want to spend time with an interesting man doing an interesting thing in an interesting place? Of course, this is extremely attractive, and such men, they don't have a difficulty finding dates. They don't have a difficulty charming women because they are charming. That is who they are. They are interesting. What women find interesting about men is precisely what they lack: masculinity. Therefore, if you're looking for a very feminine woman, you need to focus on developing your masculine traits, and at the same time, suppressing any feminine instincts you might have. So then, what are some of the specific virtues that women will find attractive or find interesting in men? I'm going to only cover 3 today. And these are not the 3 that we've talked about in the past. Those 3 we talked about in the past are core virtues. And we're going to talk about something a little bit different today. So the 3 we're going to talk about are by no means the only 3, but it is a good place to start. What virtues make a man very interesting to a K-selected woman? Well, here's a hint. It's not your abs. It's not your wealth. It's not your job. It's not even your car. These things, they can add to the attraction that you have. You know, being physically fit is never a bad thing. Having wealth is never a bad thing. But it needs to go deeper than that. Women, especially K-selected women, traditional women, are looking for a man that they can fully trust, that they can submit themselves to in a traditional style of marital arrangement. And this means that the man must be a capable and extraordinary man. Not every man qualifies to have that level of trust. So what are some of the things that can make a man worthy of trust by a K-selected woman? Well, I'm only going to go over 3 things. These are not the only things. Maybe these aren't even the most important things, but we're going to go over 3 today, and we can talk about more, because this could be an almost endless discussion about qualities that men should develop in order to gain women's trust. So we're going to talk about 3. The first of the 3 is passion. A man who is deeply emotionally and intellectually committed to a cause is fascinating to women. This is because he demonstrates his ability to make a commitment, and that'll make him an excellent romantic partner. It means that he can make a lifelong commitment and work hard to achieve his goals. It also tells you something about the man's virtues and his morality, depending on what causes he has chosen to become focused on and passionate about. A second one is self-discipline or self-control. It's very similar to each other. And this is important because it demonstrates that the man who is in control of himself is in control of his world. Such a man is going to be loyal despite any temptation, and he's going to be able to achieve the things that he wants in life. That kind of a man can be trusted and relied upon. The next one is leadership ability. So a man who demonstrates leadership ability in his social circles, in his community, or in his job is a kind of man of high social status. He can be relied on. He can be trusted. This is the kind of man that already knows how to lead. He'll be the kind of man that people want to follow. You know, a good leader is the kind of a person who does what needs to be done when other men are unwilling or unable to do so. A man who is a demonstrated leader is the kind of man that a woman wants to trust. It needs a joy for her to It's a joy for her to follow him. Now, men, of course, are also deeply attracted to women that they find interesting. Studies show that men are not particularly interested in a woman's level of education or her career. These aren't considered positives. And in fact, if they come with debt, they might be considered negatives. Even women who are involved in big social or political causes don't really project that as something positive in the sexual marketplace. This is because what men find attractive in women is what they themselves lack. So that's femininity. They are attracted to women who are feminine. And if you're a woman and you want to find a masculine man, you need to work and focus on developing your feminine traits. That's the only way that you'll attract a truly masculine man. You also need to suppress any inclination towards masculine pursuits or masculine traits. Men are very visual, and because of that, the first thing that we're attracted to is a woman's appearance. This means that women have to put effort into how they look by taking care of their physical fitness, by dressing appropriately, and by looking after their hygiene. Women are signaling their mental, emotional, and physical health, or in short, their fertility to men. And since most men, especially K-selected men, want to have children, this is very important to them. Certainly, we can't say that giving importance to appearance is shallow or is some sort of a fault on men's part. It's a natural part of our biology. We want to have children, and that's going to be easiest with a young and attractive woman because she's probably healthy. Therefore, appearance is an important virtue for a woman looking to get married, and whatever you can do to improve your appearance, you should be doing. In a day and age when most women either dress like sluts or monsters, a woman who dresses femininely and modestly really stands out. You know, it's an interesting balance to be attractive, to dress attractively and not slutty. It doesn't really matter either how much you spend on your clothing and your hair. That's not the most important thing. So even women that don't have a lot of money can still look after their appearance. And studies show that the most important thing is physical fitness. And that's something that you can get just by eating healthy and exercising at home. You don't need to even go to a gym. So it's within the reach of every single woman. A well cared for appearance is vital. However, it's not enough. A man wants to know before making a commitment that the woman he's about to marry or that he's about to commit to is the kind of woman who's going to help him to follow his passion and is going to be supportive of him. He wants to know that she will follow his leadership, that she will become an excellent mother. Because of this, men should be asking themselves 3 important questions. 1, is the woman that I'm interested in capable of following my leadership and trusting me? Is she interested in having children in the near future? And lastly, is she capable of having the empathy, the gentleness, and the kindness and patience to deal with infant children? Good men will prize a woman that considers it her great quest in life to raise several wonderful children. A woman who's capable of being a great mother is almost certainly going to be a great wife. This is going to be a multi-skilled woman, a woman who can, cook, clean, take care of sick children, can some peaches, sew a button on a shirt, plant a garden, and do all kinds of different things that might be called upon from a good mother. It's a difficult job. It's not easy, and men need to know that it is possible that she's going to be able to do that. And the best thing is if a woman can actually demonstrate these skills either in the courtship or just as part of her daily life. Such a woman is far more attractive to a man than one that can recite Ayn Rand from heart and tell you about illogical fallacies. So in conclusion, if you want to be in a great K-selected relationship with a loving marriage and children, don't be boring. Become engaged in some interesting things. Make it gender appropriate. And make it fit your personality and your needs. Become the best, most interesting version of yourself. Seek to grow incrementally, step by step as a human being, to make yourself better every day. Because that is truly the greatest measure of how interesting you really are. I've written a post that accompanies this video. It's on smv4k.com, and you have to join the Patreon in order to read it. The post includes some exercises that you can do to help make you more interesting, as well as some things you can think about in order to improve your self-knowledge in this area. I'd really love to see you join us, and anyone who joins at the $15 a month or higher range gets to be part of the private chats on Facebook where we talk to each other and where we have a chance to ask questions and sort out any questions and ideas that we have. We're really looking forward to you joining us. It's an excellent group, and I'm sure it'll help you to develop your sexual market value as well.